CigarClub podcast all up in your ear. Talking all that good you wanna hear. Stogies, bourbons, and everything in between. Griff and Pugh are not experts by any means, so sit back and light one up. Make sure you got something good in your cup. Happy smoking, now enjoy the program. Thank you for being part of the CigarClub fam.
What's up, Cigar Club family? Welcome back to another episode of the Cigar Club podcast. I'm Pugh, and along with me, as always, is Griff Howie. Thank you all so much for listening every week and leaving your thoughts and feedback on each episode. We love reading them, and you may be able to make one of Griff's special highlights. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for tuning in. The Cigar Club podcast is where we talk about all things cigars with you, the Cigar Club family, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. On today's episode, we're going to be smoking the La Flor Dominicana Double Ligero, which may be one of the strongest cigars that we've ever smoked, maybe one of the strongest cigars in the world. But before we dive into it, Griff, how you doing? What are you smoking? Well, I know what you're smoking. What are we drinking? Cheers. Top of the morning to you, first off.
Top of the morning to you.
Early.
Nothing like a full-bodied cigar to start the day or in the day.
Well, this is starting the day. It's early.
Well, it could also destroy us, but who knows? Pairing it with a little DC. And excited. This is the first.
Cheers.
Never had an LFD before.
Wait, you've never had an LFD?
Never.
I was going to preface this and bring this into the episode saying, like, not only is this one of the strongest cigars that we have smoked or may have smoked, but we really don't smoke too much LFD. So this is,
Nope.
I have smoked a lot of LFD in the past, but it's been years since I've smoked LFD. So it's going to be exciting to go back and kind of revisit this brand. But I wouldn't have suspected that you've never smoked any. I would think their flavor profile.
Well,
maybe
yeah.
now that you're more of a Dominican guy, you may enjoy these more than you used to. Or whatever.
It's like Romacraft, too. I mean, and it is in my range, my profile, but just another brand that we don't smoke a whole lot of. So This is my first LFD. We really don't even know what the hell we're smoking because Ramsey bought these cigars, doesn't know what he purchased, can't find it. Could be the triple Ligero, could be the double Ligero, could be the Ligero. Great size, nice little box press.
Yeah, a little
great
soft
draw.
box press.
Great draw, but apparently this is a full-bodied cigar. We found out, we think, this is not the triple threat, as that is a store exclusive in New York, maybe?
From 2013 in New York, so it is definitely not that because only 750 cigars were made.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't go there to get this, so that leaves it to the double Ligero we're calling this?
Yeah, I think from Ramsey went back and found his text, this is the double Ligero. It's odd that it doesn't actually say it. Most of the double Ligeros say, or most of the LFD cigars under that primary band have what it is in terms of the line. Usually it would say Ligero or Chisel, whatever it may be. But we do believe this is the double Ligero. Dominican cigar, Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Dominican binder, Dominican filler. This bad boy is, like most LFD cigars, full-bodied. They do have some exceptions, but for the most part, they bring the flavor, they bring the heat. If you've got a cigar called double or triple Ligero, you're going to expect to really bring the strength. I have always pushed away from smoking. I think I've had the double before, but I've certainly pushed away from smoking the triple. This was back when I first started smoking. It was very intimidating. I knew it was going to be full strength, so I was like, you know what? That's not for me. I don't need to try it. So I'm excited to knowingly smoke, either the double or the triple here.
The wrapper is like velvet. Super smooth, soft. I think I'm really going to like this.
I really think that you will like everything in the LFD portfolio.
I gotta say, the band I absolutely hate, but so far, the first couple puffs, I think this is going to be pretty solid.
I think if you were to have smoked this back a few years ago before you really started to appreciate and get into Dominican tobaccos, I think you would have hated it. But now that your palate's kind of evolved or you've had really good Dominican cigars, I think you will really, really enjoy this brand. Just like I know you would really enjoy Romacraft if you kind of smoke through their lineup.
Yeah. So whatever Ligero this is, coming from a Ligero lover, I think this is going to be really, really good.
So
and
Ramsey's
both smoking it with an empty stomach.
Yeah, Ramsey's goal behind this was not only to have us smoke a super strong cigar, but he really wants to see us turn yellow and green in this episode. So
yeah, I know
early morning
when he told me what the synopsis or what the thing was going to, I was like, oh, this sounds like torture.
Yeah. Well,
Granted,
and that's why I really wanted to.
Body.
Yeah, I tend to not smoke a full-bodied cigar this early, especially on an empty stomach. But this is your normal wheelhouse. You're going to be more acclimated to a stronger cigar, where I normally hover around that medium range on average. But I knew we were going to be doing this, so I wanted to. It's early-ish. Normally we do these episodes in the afternoon. It's 10:30 my time. It's 11:30 Griff's time. So still pretty early in the morning. I wasn't going to have coffee, but I needed something. I can't not have coffee.
Yeah, meanwhile, I've had 15 cups of coffee, Diet Coke.
You've also had 1.5 cigars already. You've been going at it this morning.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. So, and still a lot in the day left, but this will be I'll go inside after this and potentially lay down and curdle up in a little ball.
I'm telling you, lunch is on Cigar Club today for all of us. We could be throwing up after this. That'll be great. You got to bring the camera in if you do start blowing chow. But before we jump into the main topic of the show, I want to let you guys know we have added some new cigars to the vault. So jump on there. There are limited quantity. We've already been selling out of some of our customs from 2021. I did add a couple exclusive rare cigars on there. So be sure to constantly check that out and see what new cigars that we're adding there from time to time. But the main reason, or the main kind of topic discussion behind this episode, is going to be Ramsey has found a top 10 list of some of the strongest cigars in the world, or what people claim to be the strongest cigars in the world. So we're going to go through that. Hopefully we've smoked one or two of these before. Ramsey just let us know he's got someone heading to the cigar shop to confirm what cigar we are smoking. Wow.
Oh, good.
I mean,
I can't see any of that, so...
What a man.
As he should.
Yeah, so let's jump in. Yeah, as he should. How dare you not write this down?
Hey,
after sending it to us like 4 months ago.
Let me play this out. Me being Ramsey walking into the cigar shop. I want to buy a cigar, but don't tell me anything. Just give me a cigar. I know it's LFD, but I want to be completely blinded. Insane. That's what happened. That actually would be kind of fun, walking into the cigar shop being like, go pick one out.
Unband it.
You think I'll like, if you know the guy. Yeah, I want to do that with Ernie next time, actually.
That'd be a lot of fun. I think.
As it rings up as $90, but.
Yeah, right. I know I enjoy when someone's like, oh, I enjoy smoking this cigar. What do you recommend?
Yeah.
Like that's always really fun, especially if it's in person and I can sit down and actually smoke it with them or be with them as they smoke it. That's always just a really fun to introduce new brands or introduce new styles. There'll be plenty of times someone will be like, hey, I only smoke this cigar. We've done videos on these before. If you only smoke Padrones or Davidoffs or whatever it may be. It's great when people are wanting to try new things and then you're able to introduce them to new things and then they enjoy it. For you, having you enjoy the Chugui Dose 77 last year and kind of that
coming out with another one now.
They are. The Heartbreaker's coming back. That's one that I
2.0
most excited for, or not most excited for, but really excited for. That was one of my favorite Chugui cigars back in the day. So really excited for that. And we're definitely going to have to get that in boxes when it comes out. Yeah. But let's take a look at this list. Top 10 strongest cigars. Who is the publisher? There we are. Smoking Pipes.
2022.
Daily Reader. 2022. John McElhenney. I almost would have said McElhenney, but that's a different celebrity. So let's see here what they've got. Okay.
Oh.
Good start.
Great cigar.
Coming in at number 10 on their list is the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Mi Querida Traca.
Oh, God, you just butchered the shit out of that.
Fill me in.
Mi Querida Traca.
Okay. Roll the R again.
I mean, we can go back to the clan. Same thing.
Well, I can't roll my R's. Got to start
Tricky Chaka. That's a great
Tricky
cigar.
Chaka. Okay, yeah.
And it does have some strength for sure.
It's funny.
But they make a smaller size. I can't remember if it's called the 486 or what, but it's like a 4.5
yes,
by
that's the one I've smoked.
48, which maybe makes sense with the number. And that is a great cigar.
Yes. It's so funny because I know the Tricky Chaka. I've never actually seen it spelled out. I just call this the red Mi Quierda. Great cigar. Definitely has some strength. I don't think I've smoked anything other than that small Vitola. So if you had
Toro and some other,
have you smoked any of the other Vitolas?
Yeah, I've smoked the smaller one, and I don't know exactly the size off the top of my head, but it was similar to a Toro. And
is the strength lessened with those larger sizes, or is it pretty much the same throughout?
From what I recall, granted, I didn't smoke them the same day. I didn't smoke them within the same month.
Yeah,
they were extremely consistent. For me, it was like a medium plus, and I don't recall if I had anything on my stomach and all that. But that's a cigar I could smoke anytime, and it's an amazing blend.
Yeah, beautiful Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on that one. Steve Saka is, I would expect it to be the same through Vitola to Vitola. He has a really good understanding of tobaccos and how to blend them to achieve a certain flavor profile. I don't think there's really anything that we've had from Steve Saka that we both don't thoroughly enjoy or wouldn't buy a box or be gladly, have a box of those.
I know last podcast or the podcast before, we talked about like one brand being really up my alley. And this is another brand that I think is in that same wheelhouse, that is one that I just don't talk a lot about. And I only smoke them when I go to the cigar shop. So all of his lines are very consistent to what I really enjoy. And, in nature, they're kind of more on the full-bodied side, minus a couple.
Yeah, the Sombresa Blue and Sombresa Regular are ones that I immediately go to that are not the kind of different from Saka's normal blending profile of medium plus full-bodied cigars. And this is one, I don't know if we can say it. If not, we'll cut it out. But, we've reached out to them many times, but, their production is just a little bit smaller than our needs. And a lot of times when we have brands that we enjoy, but we just can't, our needs are a little bit higher than, what they're able to produce, or sometimes they only work with retailers, that have a brick and mortar. So some of these blends and brands, you guys may be like, hey, why don't I have this in my box? You guys talk about it all the time. We've tried, trust me. And maybe in the future, there's a spot opening that production or increase or whatever it may be. They don't want to diminish their quality to put in these large orders or to be able to kind of stretch themselves too thin. But that's a certain brand. I think it was HVC where I said they would put out anything and you would enjoy it blindly. You could buy a box and not be worried about it. And I think D&T or DTT is right there. Update. Great cigar. I'm not getting too much strength. I'm not feeling any woozy. I mean, granted, I haven't stood up and it's only been 10 minutes, but I really enjoy this. I'm actually really surprised. To say I wasn't looking forward to smoking this cigar would be a lie, but I was like a little hesitant just because the name alone implies that it's going to be putting you on your ass.
I mean, if the band wasn't on here, I mean, it's very smooth. Nice pepper note to it. I think it will probably creep up a little bit, but construction not the best for me.
Really?
But
my wrapper looks flawless.
I thoroughly enjoy this.
It's funny. I'm going to get roasted for this. But if you gave me this without a band, the Vitola gives it away that it's not. But I could easily see this being a Padron. The flavor isn't as forward currently as a Padron would be, and obviously the soft box press gives it away that it's not. But the wrapper shade, and the flavor profile is reminiscent of a Padron cigar, at least in my memory. But let's go jump into number 9, and then I want to talk a little bit about some of our previous horror stories with smoking strong cigars and what we can do to overcome some of those nicotine buzzes if you were to get it.
CAO Brasilia. In addition to being a potent, vibrant cigar, CAO's Brasilia was the first major cigar release to showcase a Brazilian wrapper. Yeah, it's very interesting because Do we know a cigar that we've both smoked that has a Brazilian wrapper?
Yeah, the Villager do Brazil.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Well, in boxes this month.
I'll just say this is a wrapper you don't,
No,
normally tend to see or smoke.
No, you're spot on. I smoked a lot of these cigars when I first started smoking. They're readily available. You can pretty much find CAO cigars at any brick and mortar. And they're in a lot of samplers online, which is why I had a lot of them. It's been a while, but I actually really enjoy this cigar. I actually enjoy the CAO Amazon Basin a lot more. That cigar there's something about Brazilian tobacco that gives off this like raisin note, date note that I tend to not find in any other style of or region of tobacco. And the CAO Brasilia has it, but the CAO Amazon Basin releases are just straight raisins. They age really, really well. And I think it comes a lot from just how much, Nicaraguan tobacco and Brazilian tobacco are in these cigars.
I haven't smoked this cigar, but I would assume that the Dunbarton would be a little bit more full-bodied than this cigar. Yeah. Just from the description. I mean, binder and fillers from Nicaragua, Brazilian Maduro wrapper. I don't know. To me, that doesn't sound, super full-bodied. But, again, I haven't smoked it.
Yeah, I don't know if this list is any particular order. I didn't see it. Based off these two, I would certainly put the Tricky Chaka above the Brasilia in terms of strength. But it's a great cigar. Like I said, if you can find a box of these for on sale, cheap, I think you could probably get one for like $75 to $125 on sale. Maybe not anymore, but used to. Throw these in your humidor, let it sit for 2-3 years, and they smoke beautifully.
Yeah. Huh. I'll have to give this one a try. So, or just a second ago, you said bad experiences. There's several for me, but one that sticks out the most was in college, was out on the boat with my buddy, and we got to Fort McRae in Pensacola. Just he and I, drinking some beers.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Hot, yeah. Who knows? No, it was not that, but having a few colas and hot as all get out, sunburned to crisp, very dehydrated, and we decided to light up a couple cigars before we made the boat ride back. What it was, I can't even remotely guess. I think he and I went into the local store in Mobile and just grabbed God only knows what. And it was probably just what what looked good to us, what band kind of was the coolest to us. It was not an acid Cuba Cuba.
Thank God.
It was actually a
Monte Cristo
quote
or
unquote
something.
premium cigar.
Yeah.
I really wish I might have to ask him and see if he remembers. But at any rate, we light him up on the beach before we get back in the boat, and it hit us both at the same time like a sack of bricks. The island started spinning.
Oh no, you're in trouble.
I started spinning the other way to the point of I need to go lay down on the boat. Like I need an actual cushion. So our old boat was a dual console. So we're both laying up in the front with our feet kind of over the bow. Laying down probably doesn't help. We probably should have been sitting up in the grand scheme of things, and we probably didn't pack any water. We should have been drinking water. Definitely did not have any type of candy or chocolate or anything like that.
Hot sun doesn't help.
So
either.
we're just eating it, and it's not going away. It's not going away. I'm like, dude, there's no way I can drive this thing.
Yeah,
it's like we took 15 shots or chugged a gallon of tequila or something, and after that, I don't remember anything else. Obviously, we drove back. How long do we lay there? I have no idea. I'm assuming there was nothing on our stomach. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Were we inhaling? I have no idea. I don't think so. He might have been. I definitely was not. It was hot, dehydrated, drinking beer in the sun, sunburn. It's like every possible scenario that was bad was occurring. And
that's it.
I don't know. I don't remember what happened.
Did you? Oh, so you don't know if you hit the old vomitorium?
I want to say, I maybe when I got home, I don't think there's no way. Well, I don't think I threw up out there. But hell, it could have been in Connecticut. I have
Who
no
knows?
idea
Yeah.
what it was, but it both hit us.
That's so funny.
At the same time, we started spinning, got just super dizzy, super nauseous. It was not good. And if we had some type of candy or something, or a Gatorade or something, Diet Coke or whatever, obviously that would have helped. But it was horrible.
I have
Absolutely horrible.
I have 3 instances where I can vividly recall full-on nicotine sickness, because that's what it is. It's nicotine sickness.
I know one of yours.
You know one of mine. you were there for that one. That was rough. I don't even think. No, that may have been one of the worst. Oh, it just hit me. I think it was a combination of me trying to work in the back seat, but I was shaky prior to getting into the car and trying to work in the back seat.
It was funny.
So I'll spread mine out a little bit.
Let's start with that one.
Okay. This one was the one that we're referring to. Last year, Miami. We sit down with Lorenzo from HVC Cigars, smoking through the blends for 2023 Customs. And we went into this knowing that it was going to be a full-bodied powerhouse.
That was our first stop, or no? I don't remember.
That was...
I can't remember.
I don't know, because we went to see Bradley and Alec, or Bradley that day, because we went from there to wherever the hell, Fort Lauderdale. But I think that was our first stop. Yeah,
we had Versailles before, though, right?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure we planned to have. I'm pretty sure
we had food prior. Yeah,
prior, knowing the possibilities.
So we sit down, 2 or 3 blends. You'll have to watch the podcast. That'll come out later this year. 2 to 3 blends in front of us. Griff takes this puff in the first one, and he's like, "Oh, this is strong." I'm chiefing it. I'm
fresh.
Like a week, maybe 2 weeks tops from his new factory in Nicaragua. I'm chiefing it like, no, this isn't strong. I don't taste any strength in this.
Yeah, I think you even made comments.
I did.
This is mild.
I did. I want to go mild, but I was like, this isn't full bodied. And so we smoke the other 2. They're equally as strong. And we're drinking espresso on top of it.
Cuban coffee, yeah.
Cuban coffee. And I'm starting to sweat. And we're going through this podcast talking about it. The sweat.
Mind you, it's very cold in his office.
It is freezing in his office. It has nothing to do with the Miami humidity or heat. And I'm sweating. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It's early in the morning. And we finish the podcast. I stand up for the first time. And it hits me. And I'm like, oh, boy. I got nothing to calm my stomach. I have the bright idea that I'm going to work in the back seat of the car as Griff's driving 110 on the Miami freeway, get us to our next appointment.
I also purposefully took some corners a little bit hard.
I'm in the back. I'm yellow. I'm like, guys, this isn't good.
I don't know why you didn't sit. Why didn't you kick Ramsey in the back?
I don't know. If I threw up, it'd be better in the back seat, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Nice guy Pugh. Anyway, that's probably... I don't know. That may be the worst. But I kept it together.
That was a powerhouse. I will say, and I said it from the first puff that I had, it was an amazing cigar, and I cannot wait for that. But I have to go back and look at the itinerary. I'm pretty sure we had food. So, I mean, if you didn't have food, you could have died.
I think we did have breakfast.
Oh, we might have had Starbucks or something on the way up. But,
yeah.
If you had an empty stomach, I mean, we might have had to take you to the hospital. I don't know.
That was and
with podcast 2, you're also smoking quick.
Oh, that I think
because you're talking about the cigar.
Yeah, that was the primary, because you want to get more than 2 puffs in before moving to the next blend, because we were live verifying blends. We didn't know which blend we were going with, so we wanted to have a pretty decent representation of what that blend was, despite being fresh. So you're smoking it a lot faster than you normally would to be able to see any transitions or pull out specific flavors. But yeah, I was pale yellow. And then you know what? I did not smoke when we got to the AB office, despite everyone telling me that I needed to, and that was a great decision. But normally you've got something, you're at home, or you're at a bar, so you can get like a Diet Coke, like you said. I had nothing. And Griff's not stopping the car for nothing. And we also were tight time schedule too.
It was very tight, but we also may have been late to one appointment by 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, that was a whirlwind trip.
A lot of fun.
Which I thought I asked Ramsey to include it in the last podcast. I don't think he did, unless I didn't watch it, but let's assume he didn't. In that podcast, we walk up to Alec Bradley and meet Bradley outside, and so I start jabbing Pugh then, and then he's drinking water, and I was ready for a double broadleaf. We smoked the Cameroon, I think, or one of the trilogies. That got you good.
Yeah, that was.
Even with PCA and stuff, I have not ever seen.
No, you have not.
You affected by a cigar.
Yeah,
like
a PCA, you're constantly, throwing back 5, 6, 7, 8 cigars throughout the day, and like half to full cigars almost, depending on the cigar. And that was up there with one of the worst. And so, moral of that story is just slow down.
Yeah.
Don't inhale. Well, I didn't inhale, but don't.
Speaking of, this is starting to creep.
Yes, it is. I can feel the hands are getting a little sweatier than they normally are. Put it that way.
I'm not sweaty, but I can definitely feel it creeping, and I'm only probably not even in the first third yet.
But I will say, extremely enjoyable cigar. There's not.
Oh, this with like 115, 125 proof.
Give me 107 Nassif or Weller Antique. I'd be swimming. Yeah. The flavors aren't, this grand scheme of wildness. It's leathery. It's cedary. I don't want to say it tastes like a cigar because it's more nuanced than that, but it tastes like what I kind of think of a cigar tasting like. Really enjoyable. But let's go to number 8. See what we got here. Okay. So coming in at number 8, they've got the Lika Pravada Unico Series UF-13 Dark. I have smoked this cigar. I bought a while ago a Lika Pravada Unico sampler, and I believe this was in it. It was originally realized as a potential addition to the Liga T52 series, which we all know is one of my favorite, or is my favorite Liga from Drew Estate. But it was considered
also,
too
real
strong.
Quick,
yeah.
In collaboration with Saka, this thing's
I skipped that whole paragraph. Classic me.
Have some kick.
Yeah. That alone, I wish I would have read that first. Yeah, this was in collaboration with Steve Saka and Jonathan Drew when Steve was working with Drew Estate. And so this is a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper over Brazilian Matafina binder and Honduran and Nicaraguan Cuban seed fillers. I don't remember it. I remember the pigtail, which is absolutely gorgeous. But the Ligas, to me, have some of the most bountiful foot smoke, but also a really lovely room note as well. And I always contribute that to Honduran tobacco. But it's interesting to see another Brazilian.
Yeah, I was going to say that. To me, out of these three, I would potentially put this in terms of full-bodied over the Tricky Chaka, but I would still put that CAO probably in number 10.
Yeah.
I would go this, Dunbarton, CAO.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, I've only smoked one of the three, but this I would assume has some strength.
Yes. And I think it was last podcast episode. If you are a Liga fan, smoke them right away.
I've never seen this cigar.
I found that these do not age well at all. I don't know if they still make the UF-13. I know they're constantly adding and subtracting things from their Unico series. Like I've smoked the pork belly. They have all these different cool, unique Vitolas for their Liga Pravada lines. They're all fun to smoke. Just not one that I smoke too often. I think they're a little pricey for what they bring to the table. But Jonathan Drew has developed an amazing brand, an amazing following, and you'll certainly find people that will only smoke Liga Pravadas. I feel that the original Liga lines were really, really good, and they changed back when Drew Estate was purchased weren't they purchased out? There was something that changed the blend of the Liga lines. And I feel like as they've grown, the quality has dropped a little bit, but more so the flavor profile just kind of changed and just not my favorite anymore. The T52 is still one that I'll smoke if given to me because it's just nothing but sweet tea. It's such a natural sweetness that it's just amazing.
Getting creepy up. Getting creeped up. All right, number 7. I'd like for it to be something I haven't smoked this one.
You haven't. This is the first one I haven't smoked.
Fausto. Tatuaje Fausto. Let's see. Regular release version of a limited edition cigar that was sold exclusively in Honolulu, Hawaii, and called the T110. T110 was a strong smoke, blah, blah, blah. The blend was modified to tone down some of the strength. The name translates into fortunate, which is a blend of Ecuadorian Habano Maduro wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and fillers. The result is a smoking experience that's laden with spice, earth, leather, espresso, befitting the name's additional reference in its packaging to the German folktales concerning Faust and his deal with the devil.
The devil. First one then on this list that I haven't smoked. I don't smoke too much Tatuaje for no other reason that nothing really around me carries Tatuaje. But whenever I go in a humidor and I find it, or I see that they carry Tatuaje, I normally leave with one. So I don't know. This one,
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, I guess it's coming from the Nicaraguan binder and fillers. But when I see an Ecuadorian Habano Maduro, I don't think full-bodied powerhouse. I don't know. But what I was going to comment on this one, it's interesting that I feel like Hawaii gets a lot of state exclusives. I think of the Crown Heads release. Is it the Tennessee Waltz or the Blood Meridian?
Oh.
There's one that they do that is exclusive for Hawaii. And then what you normally see is exclusive for Hawaii, and then it'll be a national brand. I guess they have a really strong smoking culture in Hawaii. Hawaii and Texas are like the two that I think of the most as far as state exclusives. You've got the Texan from Fratello. You've got the Fausto here. Like I said, I think it was Tennessee Waltz, Texas Lancero out of Alec Bradley. So, I think it's interesting. I don't know enough about the Hawaiian smoking culture, but I don't know. The cigar, I think out of the 4 that we've discussed, this would be one that I'd be least excited to smoke. For nothing other than the blend itself isn't, too interesting compared to just on paper the other ones with the Brazilian or, the combination of Jonathan Drew and Steve Saka before he left. So, but I enjoy the Tatuajes that I have smoked. It's just not one that I frequent often.
So I'd like to interrupt this podcast with a non-paid advertisement by Griff's Howies. Damn it, what's the name called?
What do we got? We got the
Howies Highlights.
Howies Highlights. There it is.
There are no keyboard clowns in this episode.
Thanks for keeping it PC, everyone.
So I'm going to do a little Howie's highlights from the past 2 episodes. This one comes from the podcast that we smoked the year of the rabbit, which was a very good cigar.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see. LaMarcus Davenport bought a box of Vinegar Cream based on you guys hyping it up in one of the last podcasts. Found a sale and paid $80 for a box of Robusto. Very impressed with them. Way better construction and consistency than I expected. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about the cream quite a bit. Can't beat it. For the price, can't beat it.
I saw he posted that on Discord, too, that he bought a box. I mean, that cigar is just...
Yeah.
For the price point, you expect, just a affordable cigar, and it smokes like an $8 to $10 stick. It's so good in the morning with a cup of coffee.
From Carlos Min, I would love to be a part of the club. I wish you had international shipping. There are no options where I live to buy a good cigar. Damn. We can hopefully fix that soon. Hopefully.
Working on something, hopefully.
No guarantee. Matthew, so glad you guys got to experience and enjoy the rabbit. When I saw Placencia was going to release this earlier in the year, I immediately called my brick and mortar. I ended up getting a handful and then additional ones, and ultimately should have just bought a box. Yeah. But you guys took the words out of my mouth on how good it was. Definitely worth the $50. Happy smoking, boys. Another great episode.
Thank you.
It's a very good cigar. I can't say $50 is just... That's steep, and it's really got to be good to justify that.
If money's no option, I'm buying a box. But for, my budget, A single is probably what I could justify a box would be, but they are gorgeous boxes.
Alex, great show, guys. Love both the HVC Black Friday and Crownhead's Las Calaveras. We do too.
Yeah, we need to get some of the new Las Calaveras so we can do a podcast around it like we did last year.
Let's see. From Rick Anderson, I work at a brick. Oh, cool. I work at a brick and mortar in Utah right now. And we have one of the rabbits. The best part of Thanksgiving are the sandwiches the next day.
Yes.
I forgot we talked about that.
I would. God, that makes me want to just smoke a turkey just to have it the next day cold.
You know, it's nice because you can just, bag them up or put them in a freezer bag or a vacuum seal bag. I should do that.
I
pork butts.
Do a big old smoked turkey, bone in, the full Monty, and then I'll use that carcass to make stock. And then just something my grandfather would always do, so it always reminds me of him, is we'll make turkey noodle soup with the stock that we make from the turkey. It's better if you do a roast turkey rather than smoking it, but smoked turkey is just delicious just because it doesn't. That smoke flavor can be a little overpowering for a soup.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, turkey stock into a turkey noodle soup.
And then a couple comments, Howie's highlights from the new custom cigar.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd throw it in there.
Steve Wood comments like 19 times. So one of his, not surprising that Griff was recognized in an interior decorating store. What the hell is that supposed to mean? And Sam commenting, just buying those throw pillows, just paying for those throw pillows. He commented a billion others. Griff for the win. I'll read that.
Hey, there you go.
Ken Morley, thanks again, Pugh, for the fast-acting refill on your stock for Pinky's Out. Ordered some.
Yes, sir.
Nate Reinhardt, love starting my Tuesdays with the podcast. I'm not yet a subscriber. I need to pull the trigger on customs or the monthly ASAP, but one I'd love to try is the Patriarch from 2021. The size and flavor profile is very intriguing to me. I need to go back and just kind of re-smoke all of them.
Yes.
Like, I don't remember Patriarch. I don't. Durham obviously is the one that stands out for me consistently. Picasso, I don't really remember. Mm-hmm. Ocho, obviously, I do. Aperio, I do. There's just...
Man, I smoked... I do not have any Patriarchs. If I do, I maybe have one left. We actually have been selling out on the vault. We got a couple of the 2021 customs are no longer available, which kind of breaks my heart. Like, I should have grabbed one just to keep for nostalgic sake, but I smoked the summer of 2021. I probably smoked a bundle of Patriarch just at the lake every day. That cigar is incredible. Aperio, probably our most popular, if I had to make an assumption, popular 2021 customs. And Ocho, I have a couple original Ochos that I don't think I'll ever smoke. I think that cigar will age beautifully, and it's good to have the new size from this year's January or February customs. That cigar's killer too.
I feel like Campina's gonna age better.
I think, I can see that. It had a little bit more body to it, a little bit more punch to kind of have to come down and mellow. The original Ocho may end up being a little too flat after 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. We'll round it out with Rick. I would seriously fangirl if I saw y'all in person. No, you wouldn't. I appreciate you guys and are a necessary part of my Tuesday. That's awesome.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
My recommendation on the Isla del Sol was based around the question of the day: what's a good starter cigar? However, I just thought the cap was a little sweetened.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was fully infused. I don't smoke infused cigars, so never mind that. Yeah. Always love reading the comments. Maybe the Keyboard Clowns is gonna
thing of the past,
see its way out. I don't know.
I mean,
until there's another serious hot take. I think Ramsey's starting to clip some of those, so I'm sure that's probably what I need to do is just go through TikTok comments, because I'm sure.
Nope, that's a cesspool. It's just like Twitter. Avoid at all
Yeah.
costs.
No, I'm going to do that and
Good
have
for
a
you.
segment. TikTok Howie's
There you
keyboard
go.
clowns.
Call them out.
Romacraft.
Yeah. No surprising. I expected to see a Romacraft on here, and actually, I expected to see this cigar.
We
the
smoked this
Romacraft
one not too long ago
Neanderthal. Yep. Excuse me.
because we commented on the
flat
there.
cap. Yep. Mexican San Andreas wrapper over a Connecticut broadleaf binder with fillers from the DR, Nicaragua, and Pennsylvania. Going back to what I was talking about, the Faust, seeing this blend makes me excited to, or if I hadn't smoked it before, would make me excited to smoke it. Like that just sounds, a triple filler Connecticut broadleaf binder, which you normally associate with as a wrapper. Like out of all of these, this is number one for me in terms of powerhouse. This Ligero Pennsylvania Green River One Sucker Ligero. What the fuck?
Yeah.
One
I
sucker?
mean, we both consider it's got to be a typo.
No, I bet.
No, it's all capped.
Yeah, it's all caps.
I don't know. You and I both can. I mean, you messaged me, and I was probably 30 minutes behind. This has got some strength, for sure.
This cigar will kick your ass if you are going into an empty stomach, or if you smoke it too fast. God forbid, if you accidentally inhale this cigar, you're going to be coughing up and hitting the old vomitorium real fast. But
Yeah, I think they make it in like 45 different sizes too.
that's my one issue. It's not an issue. My one thing with Romacraft is their sizes aren't traditional names. So you'll smoke a Romacraft and it'll be called some random name, and then you've got to go find it. You're holding a Robusto, but you don't know the name of it because it's not just called, Robusto. So that's my only thing, is it can be a little difficult to find out what you're smoking in terms of the Vitola.
And on the cellophane there, I don't even know if there was a barcode or a sticker, but there was no even size.
Yeah.
So when I looked up Romacraft Neanderthal,
I had to go through 40 options to figure out what it was.
So many options.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm guessing on the size here. It was about a 4.5 by 52 or 50 maybe, something like that.
I would say 50 or 52. Great cigar though. I know we just said, it's a full-bodied house and you got to kind of be prepared for it, but it has a ton of transitions. It
was very good.
Ton of different flavors on this one.
Evening cigar.
They particularly call it out of leather, cedar, rich coffee, spicy sweetness. I even think I get a little like blackberry compote almost as terms of the sweetness. Really, really good. And I think that tees up a perfect kind of transition or segment into what do you do if you get a cigar, you smoke it, and you start to get a little buzz from the nicotine. Griff kind of touched base on it a little bit when he was talking about his story, but grab something sweet. For me, I love, as weird as it sounds, Sour Patch Kids gummies go really, really good to overcome that because they're so sweet and tart. But a Diet Coke will work, or a soda product. Anything that's going to contain a decent level of sweetness will help counteract that nicotine buzz. I would say it works every time, but one of my other stories is when it didn't work. And this was probably 5 years ago. It was after I just purchased a box of the Padron 1964 Naturals in Torpedo that I've given Griff. You may have solo stoved it at this point, but I think that was last year's,
still in there,
2 years ago, #1 cigar of the year. But I was out back smoking that cigar, may have been drinking a little bit. Didn't think anything of it. It was late at night. I'd eaten. It wasn't like a perfect storm of nothing in my stomach. And I get up and I fell down back into the chair. That at the time was the first time I ever actually encountered a nicotine sickness, a nicotine buzz. And I went inside. I grabbed I think a Diet Coke and a handful of Sour Patch Kids or Skittles or whatever it may be, and it did not fix me. I had to go to bed. I took some Advil. I went in bed. I was buzzing, swimming in my own head, and nauseous for the entire night. And I don't know what caused it other than the cigar itself. It wasn't like I overly smoked it or smoked it too fast or inhaled or any of these other things that could potentially cause it. It was just a strong cigar. I think it may have been one of the first few out of the box that I got. Since then, I haven't had any issues when I smoke those, but that put me down and out for the whole night.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about that. I didn't even think about drinking a Diet Coke for the counter effect of, assisting with strength. So we're not apples to apples, unfortunately. I should have just had coffee, but so this is helping the strength a little bit, I would think. But I'm also just a Diet Coke
It's your one a day.
aficionado.
Aficionado.
So,
do you remember?
I can say I'm drinking a Diet Coke and I'm still feeling strength. So
I may be showing my age here, even though we're not that far apart. Do you remember when Diet Coke changed their formula?
changed.
Yeah, it used to be different.
I don't know.
I think they ended up switching to like Splenda or Spartame or whatever. But yeah, it used to be a different flavor.
Really? Diet Coke has been in my house in my house growing up ever since I obviously came. I mean, my parents love it, and Diet Coke was always there. Sweet tea was always there, and we'd always have sweet tea for dinner. I was never a milk guy for dinner.
Nowadays, though,
when I go to my
big
friend's
milk.
house, they always were, and I love milk. We drink a ton of it.
Big milk
to this
guy.
day.
Should get that on
Yeah,
a
big
T-shirt
milk
or
guy.
something.
You should.
be
An
good.
extra small would be great for me.
Extra small.
Okay,
buddy.
So yeah, I don't know. Diet Coke with cigar. We've talked about it a billion times. It's just awesome.
So
And I had already had too much coffee. There was none left. So
I had a Diet Coke yesterday. I had a headache, and I thought of you. I was going to shoot you a picture of it because I figured you'd be, I don't know, happy, impressed, glad, something along those lines. Well, let's jump into number 5 because I don't know where that story was going. So let's see number 5. Ooh, you could probably talk about this brand more than I could, but we've got the Southern Drawl Jacob's Ladder
yeah.
Brimstone Un Presidente. Not a brand that I you smoked the Jacob's Ladder, right? Isn't this your favorite
I've smoked
cigar by them?
many.
Take it over. Tell me about it.
But not in this size and not this edition, if you will. Jacob's Ladder is a powerhouse. No question about it. Let's see, this one, so this is news to me. Southern Draw Cigars was founded in 2014 by the United States Army Signal Corps veteran Robert Holt. The brand's mission is one of both quality and reverence, producing limited quantities of their cigars in a sustainable, I'm reading so far away too, by the way, manner, while honoring the traditions of tobacco cultivation and acting as a charity organization that helped raise money for the U.S. veteran. That's awesome.
I love that.
Did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
The original release of the Jacob's Ladder cigar was the company's double Ligero offering, the baseline representing the strongest, most full-bodied cigars in the company had ever produced at that point, with 2 different varietals of Ligero represented in its blend. The Brimstone, released in 2019 as a modified version with 3 different types of Ligero, making it one of the few triple Ligero cigars available. It consists of Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro wrapper over a broadleaf binder from the U.S. and fillers from both Nika and Dominican Ligeros. Jesus.
Yeah.
Culminating in a flavor profile that's extremely spicy, full of rich earth, and laden with a subtle sweetness. So the band looks the same. To my knowledge, I could be wrong on this. I thought they only had one size of the Jacob's Ladder, which is in collaboration with AJ, which is why I like it. And it's a Toro, I believe. So it's a cigar I need to have again because that is just one of my all-time favorite cigars. I don't talk about it ever because I forget about it. It's always at the bottom shelf of every.
Their facing is usually
brick and mortar.
Yeah,
it's maybe $14, maybe 12 to $14, and it's powerful in every good way.
If you're gonna put Brimstone in the name, you better be putting me in the grave with strength and power and fullness. Just like Villager Cream better be bringing cream. Even though it's like cellular to cream, it's just cream in my eyes. This is one, anytime someone talks about Southern Drawl, it's either the Rose of Sharon or the Jacob's Ladder in terms of being their favorite from that line. I've only smoked the Rose of Sharon or Sharon's Rose from Southern Drawl. I've sat on a live Zoom with, I guess it was Robert, back in 2020 during COVID, which was super fun. But not a brand, despite being in most of my brick and mortars, not a brand that I gravitate towards too often, but I need to. I'd love to try either the regular Jacob's Ladder or this Brimstone Un Presidente.
Yeah, I need to smoke it again. Maybe we need to smoke it on a podcast because it's just...
I'm in for that.
In comparison to this, it's got some strength, but it's not the strongest cigar I've ever had. I mean, I honestly think that Southern Draw is, from what I recall, granted it's been 6-7 months since I've had one, maybe even longer. AJ can put some strength in a cigar.
Absolutely. I think of the collaboration that he did with Bocock Brothers. That cigar is phenomenal, brings the power, brings the heat. I'm feeling it a little bit. I can feel a little...
I can too. I can definitely feel it, but it's not like I'm urging to go get candy or something.
I'm not sick, there's no nicotine buzz by any means, but I can certainly feel the strength, the little tingliness and the old digits starting to creep on. But yeah, Southern Draw, great brand. Despite not one that I smoke a lot, anyone that does smoke it always speaks very highly of Southern Draw. Let's see, number 4. Hopefully one that I have smoked, and it is. I actually really, really enjoy this cigar.
Not had this.
Coming in at number 4 is the Camacho Triple Maduro. Actually, my favorite of the Camacho lines that I have had. This is one of my favorites. It is a Mexican San Andreas Maduro wrapper over Mexican Corojo Maduro binder and Maduro fillers from Brazil, Honduras, and the DR. This cigar, I don't actually recall the strength of it, but I recall the flavor of it because it is chocolate sweetness, like milk chocolate sweetness, cedar, leather. They also add on here some spice and nuttiness. If you're a fan of Camacho and you haven't tried this cigar, I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Maduros, highly recommend this cigar. Griff, I think you would thoroughly enjoy this cigar. If memory serves, I think it's around the $10 to $12 price range, but they may have increased their prices over the last several years because I haven't smoked one in a couple of years, but a really, really, really good cigar. And I'm really shocked to see out of all these lists, over half have included some form of Brazilian tobacco.
Yeah.
A lot of Mexican San Andreas and Connecticut broadleaf, which is no surprise, but I'm very surprised to see how many of these have included some form of Brazilian tobacco.
Yeah, clearly I'm mistaken Brazilian tobacco because I don't associate it with strength, but it could also be a counterbalance to the strength being in the binder and fillers. So maybe that's another topic of just smoking a couple of different Brazilian wrapped cigars.
We could. What we're shipping this month, we've got the Villiger, do Brazil, Maduro, and Claro. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to bring strength. The Claro is certainly a more medium body than, say, mild because of the Brazilian tobacco, I'd have to assume. But so it's not necessarily synonymous with strength like I associate a San Andreas Maduro or a Connecticut broadleaf, but there are plenty of Connecticut wrapped cigars that incorporate broadleaf in it or San Andreas tobacco to kind of give that oomph to a Connecticut, which I think sometimes is needed. You don't necessarily need to have oomph when you're smoking in Connecticut, but a lot of times it adds complexity and makes it a little bit more one note. So that's great to see. I haven't thought about that cigar in a while, but really, really, really good cigar.
All right, wrapping up. Number 3. Oh, interesting.
We talked about
Black Label Trading Company, Memento Mori. Want to take it away?
Sure. I thought you were running with it, but
it's hard for me to read this far away.
That's fine. I love the 2 words a minute reading. Out of you, so I was going to let you take it. But this cigar we talked about this brand last time when we were doing the year of releases. This is a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder over Nicaraguan fillers. Black Label Trading Company. Griff is another brand that I think you would really enjoy. I think I've sent you 1 or 2.
Yeah, I know you do.
Really, really great cigars, full bodied. Pretty much, at least the ones that I have smoked tend to be all medium plus to full. They're complex without being, sometimes Maduros can just be too much. Like it's just power and spice. But these do a incredible job of having complexity transitions throughout. For this one, the author goes on to talk about notes of dark fruit, leather, spice, earth. Could not agree more. Whenever I'm smoking Maduro, I want some of that dark fruit. I want some of that sweetness to help counterbalance the full-bodied, the full flavor that it can be with the spice, with the earth, with the leather. And highly recommend if you haven't. I've had numerous people tell me, hey, you got to smoke more Black Label Trading Company, and they are not wrong. They do a bunch of different cool releases. Their imagery tends to be skull and bones and this kind of going back to the brimstone from Southern Drawl. If you're going to put skulls on your cigars and say that they're full-bodied, you better bring the full-bodiedness, and they certainly do with their cigars.
Okay. What the hell?
Coming in at number 2 is the Kane F 738 Lancero. I assume the 738 means it's a 7x38 cigar. Have
you heard of this?
I've heard of the brand. I have one or two of the Kane, but it's not a brand that I'm familiar with, despite having the cigars. The author says the Kane line of cigars was initially released by the Oliva family in 2009, specifically to showcase Ligero leaf. The Kane F was released in extremely limited quantities the same year as a bonus to retailers. The F is a special blend made to push limits to see how much Ligero could be successfully blended into a cigar. According to Oliva, the amount of Ligero would be around 82% within the Kane F. Holy hell. This much Ligero leads to a deluge of spiciness that's tempered by notes of leather, earth, cocoa, owed to this Nicaraguan Puros Habano wrapper and proprietary combination of binder and fillers. I may actually, well, no, since it's 2009, I doubt it, but I swear I have this cigar or I have smoked this cigar.
This sounds like a prop plane or something. The Kane
the Kane
F738. Sounds like a little Cessna or something.
Yes, exactly right. I
don't know
know
anything about this.
I know I've smoked this cigar or I have this cigar. It looks too familiar, the footband of it, but I don't know anything else about this brand. I don't know if they're still in production or
new to me.
Yeah.
And being number 2, that's
I mean,
for a Lancero
82% Ligero in a Lancero. Whew.
I mean,
My goodness.
Might as well be the whole damn thing.
This cigar's kicking my ass.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm now over halfway, and it's given me a little bit of the old burpees. So apologize for everyone listening. I'm trying to pull away. Hopefully Ramsey will edit those out.
I got to say, I got to come clean here. I know we said we were going to smoke this on an empty stomach. I slammed a burger before this, so I just I got to come clean. So
I hope that guilt
stuffed.
for the last 45 minutes has riddled you and has ruined your stomach.
I was waiting for, like, come on, I hope this gets to you. Like, I want to see some pain a little bit. So I just, wanted to tell you that. So, and tater tots. So it was the plan all along. Actually, when you said we're smoking an empty stomach, I said, okay, that sounds good. And then I went inside and heated up my leftover burger. So maybe that's why I'm not feeling it as much.
Oh, no, you think, Griff?
This is good. We needed to do this because I wanted to let everyone know. I wanted to let everyone know you can still feel some strength with a full stomach.
That's great. So
on the contrary,
sweating.
You can feel it in sweat with an empty stomach.
Great. Well, thanks, Griff. Well, I guess I'll lead that right into my next story before we do. What the fuck? Okay, well.
What?
Well, you know what? Fuck it, Ramsey. You've already shown it. Let me talk about it, then I'll tell you my last story. Coming in at number 1 on this list is the La Flor Dominicana Double Ligero.
Well, this is different than what we have.
Well, we don't know what we have.
The band. Look at the band, too.
Well, yeah, none of the LFD. I don't know what this cigar is. All the LFDs that I can find online have a damn... Either it's a secondary band or it's incorporated into the primary band. It tells you what it is. Ours doesn't have it. So, but this one, they say Double Ligero Maduro Digger, which I believe the Digger is the particular size. The Double Ligero was made as a follow-up to the Ligero line, showcasing its namesake leaf as the main attraction, with the double Ligero, no surprise, adding even more Ligero. The Maduro Digger is, taking up to 3.5, definitely not what we have, 3.5 hours to smoke.
No.
It's a 8.5 by 60. Hell no.
No.
Yeah, nope.
It doesn't look like that.
That's
obviously.
too much. That is too much cigar.
Yeah.
They say there's fruity sweetness, leather, earth, rich spiciness.
There's no way.
That's too long of a cigar. That's too big of a cigar.
A perfect companion for a seasoned smoker on a lengthy car ride.
I'm driving off the road if I'm smoking that
I
cigar.
think that's pretty dangerous. That's a dangerous
That
state.
is a dangerous cigar to smoke and drive at the same time. Unless you're just like
drunk driving out there.
Unless you're eating a burger and tots, as you drive, you probably wouldn't feel it.
Oh, it was so good.
You know what? You're buying me lunch.
Good. That's fine. And a Diet Coke. So I'm sitting.
You're sitting pretty
perfect over here.
Great, Ramsey. I don't know if you bought this cigar off the article or if it just was coincidence, but I wouldn't say this is the most full-bodied cigar I've had, but it's up there. If you've had the opportunity to smoke a fresh cigar right off the factory line, those are always going to kick your ass, as we saw when we smoked the HVC blends for Customs 2023. Yeah. But similar to your story about smoking on a boat, the first box of cigars that I ever bought in 2016 was the CAO Flathead V6x660, which is a 6x60 box press cigar. I was smoking this on the lake and drinking nothing but whiskey, and got out of the water, got on the boat, and I vividly remember leaning over the side and letting it all go. I don't know if it was the liquor. I say it wasn't the liquor when they're like, "Oh, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was the cigar," because I chiefed it. I chiefed a 6x60 in like 45 minutes because I knew we were leaving, and I don't like smoking on the boat because, obvious reasons. I don't want to ash on a nice pontoon boat. So
6x60.
I put it down, and boy, let me tell you, we're hitting a little chop. It may have been like Memorial Day or a 4th of July, so there's a lot of boats on the water. And I literally just lean over the side and I feed the fish. And that one to me was worse than the HVC one because
it sounds like it.
We're on the boat.
And alcohol is
involved. Yeah, I mean that was certainly put you over the edge.
Self-inflicted.
But I didn't have anything to eat afterwards. I don't think I probably had anything to eat that day, and I'm drinking whiskey on the rocks. Not a good combination, but that one was entirely due to putting down a 6x60 full strength cigar from the get-go in less than an hour. You take your time, enjoy the smoke, or else it's going to creep up on you. It's going to catch up to you, and you're going to feel it.
And if you do some research on the cigar prior to go into it with a little bit of knowledge of what you're smoking, and it's more on the full-bodied cigar or on the side, or even medium plus, just throw some in your stomach, some crackers or something.
Or a great
because otherwise
pairing.
it's going to be a potential bad experience.
Like if you're going to pair it, let's just say you're sitting down to smoke a full-bodied cigar. I love like an old-fashioned with it because there's the added sugar to the drink itself. Those type of mixed drinks do really, really well when smoking a full-bodied cigar because that sugar helps combat some of that nicotine, maybe breaks up some of the full-bodiness of the cigar, and allows you to kind of refresh when you have a sip. So those are really, really good to smoke or drink alongside a full-bodied cigar.
This is a good cigar. I mean,
I would gladly smoke this again.
I would smoke it again, but if I saw it in the store, maybe I'll have it just, I think there's better options, in my opinion, on a full-bodied side than this. But
I agree. But I think
I would smoke it again.
Yeah, this is a great cigar. Great construction. I mean, I've been tapping my ash, and it's been resistant. I just don't want to ash on myself.
The first few puffs were a little bitter, then it transitioned quickly, and I haven't gotten any of that again.
I 100% agree. So yeah, thank you, Ramsey, for sending us this. Griff, I hope next time you're a brick and mortar, I hope you pick up a couple more LFDs and try their line. I really think you will enjoy.
The Andalusian Bull has been one that I've wanted to try, and my store has it. It's just so
20,
big.
25. Yeah, it's too big of a cigar, and then every place that I go is like, you have to buy 5 cigars and they'll get it behind the counter for you. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
It's not.
Well, they have it on the shelf. Last time they did, but it's just the size was not.
Yeah, it's a big smoke, and I normally, anymore I'm not gravitating. If I'm maybe after dinner on the summer, sitting outside, 3-hour smoke, but a 3-hour smoke is a big time commitment these days. And there's a lot of cigars.
As cool and as fun as it sounds, it just after the first hour, it's just like, your mouth is just.
I want something else. I want something different. Yeah. But before we do have a question of the show, this comes from DC3. Thank you for the question. New cigar enjoyer here. Welcome. They recently had the Alec Bradley Caribbean cask. They thought this was a very nice smoke, and they want to know what they should try next.
Oh, gosh.
I'm
not familiar with the Caribbean.
Let me see while we think here. AB.
I'm not familiar with that cigar at all, actually.
So it looks to be on the mild side. It is, let's see, a Connecticut wrapper. Mellow. We talked about it earlier. Definitely recommend the Villiger Cellular Kareem. I think that's a perfectly... Queller. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is infused
Connecticut
with
spectrum.
Yep. It is infused with a splash of Caribbean rum. So
interesting.
Couldn't necessarily speak on other infused cigars just because that's not what we smoke. But if you're looking for a natural flavored cigar that has sweetness, the Villiger Kareem, the Dunbarton Trust and Tobacco Sombresa is a wonderful sweet cigar that's not infused, beautifully mild, with it's creme brulee. It's that good. It's bruleed sugar. It's got that burnt little caramel to it. Those would be 2 really great places to start.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into Connecticut smoking season.
Yeah.
And I know we've done a couple podcasts on them, and I'm just thinking of, I don't even know if it's Connecticut off the top of my head, but Midnight Express.
From Caldwell?
Yeah.
Or no, is it the Eastern Standard?
Sorry, Eastern Standard.
Yeah.
Midnight Express, that size called Euro Express, something. Yeah, I mean, just Googling Connecticut cigars will be a playing field, but
yeah,
I need to become more well-versed in that. I just
You're
don't
working
smoke
on
a whole
it.
lot
You've
of
been smoking
them.
more than you traditionally have. I've been, been proud of
Yeah.
you. But to your point, though, it's hard to find a Connecticut cigar that brings more than just mild, plain tobacco flavor. And that's why you'll see people add in a little bit of broadleaf or a little bit of Mexican San Andres into the filler or binder to add a little bit of that more complexity, take it, to more of a mild plus than a straight mild. And it brings more offering. There's certainly nothing wrong with smoking just a straight mild cigar. But for me, and I think a lot of people will quickly transition from just a straight mild cigar to looking for a little bit complexity, a little bit more offering, while still utilizing a Connecticut style wrapper.
Yeah.
Those would be 2 great places to start. And then lastly, we didn't do a giveaway on the previous podcast or 2 podcasts ago, whatever it may be. So Sam Hopkins, the man who has sponsored numerous blinds for Griff and I. If you watched the couple episodes ago, you saw I did take the first blind challenge of 2023. I redeemed myself slightly after Griff took 2 of 3 in 2022. So hopefully this won't be my only victory this year. We do have a couple other blinds lined up for this year. So looking forward to that. But Sam was gracious enough to sponsor this giveaway for the podcast today. He's going to be sending cigars from his personal stash. So thank you for sponsoring that, Sam. In the comments below, first off, everyone say thank you, Sam. But the question of the show is going to be, what was the 4th bottle that Griff and I drank from during the first ever whiskey blind that Sam sponsored last year? So I'm making you dig deep in the archives.
No freebies anymore.
No freebies on this one. Sam's been kind enough, so I didn't want this to be an easy giveaway.
Can't Google search that one.
No, you cannot. So you're going to have to go back and find not only that episode, but you're going to have to watch that episode. And let us know in the comments below what that bottle was. Be sure to say thank you, Sam. as
How
well as
bad
like,
do they want it?
subscribe, ring the bell if you're watching us on YouTube so you get notifications of when new podcast videos go up, as well as new content that Ramsey does a wonderful job of putting together and dropping on our YouTube channel. We've got exciting podcasts in store for you. We're going to be doing a cold brew podcast. We're going to be doing some PCA pre-coverage like we did last year. It looks like we just got the green light. We're going to be going to PCA this year. So stand by for some more exciting blogs, podcasts from PCA like we did last year, PCA recaps. So got a lot of fun things in store for us this summer. But Griff, any departing words before we wrap this one up, buddy?
Cheers. Smoke something good, damn it.
Well, he really just, enjoy a cheeseburger, enjoy some tots. I'm going to go get a little food in my stomach to help. I'm curious to see how this will be when I stand up. But thank you all again for joining us on the Cigar Club podcast. Until next time, everyone, happy smoking.
Peace.